User says, come on, you have to tell us. Do I though? Hello and welcome to Ask MandR episode 290 of the series where I answer your questions. If you have a question or topic for next week's episode, leave in the comments section below, leave a like while you're there, and let's get into it with our second question of the day from Steakhead, who says, what is your holy grail in your LEGO collection, and or what is your white whale? We'll start with my holy grail. It's up. I gotta get it. Hold on. Technically, it's not even Lego, although when I bought it, it did come with 150 Phase 2, Episode 2, 2002 Clone Troopers. So if you include that, it is Lego. But regardless, it's the clone building event box. I love this thing. It's amazing. I paid $1,800 for it with the 150 clone troopers, which was actually a stellar deal given the market value of these types of clone troopers. Like, I basically got the box for free if I was just buying the clone troopers anyway, which was pretty insane. But I just consider this a pretty cool piece of Lego Star Wars history, and I love having it. It is my holy grail. It's something that I, for many, many years was after, never really thought I would be able to obtain. And eventually, after all that time, a few years ago, I was able to finally get the set. You've probably seen my video on the topic, but if you haven't, I'll have it linked down in the description below. It's a fantastic video about all the little details about this thing, but this is certainly the holy grail to me of my Lego collection. But I've also been fortunate enough to have so many cool items. There's like 8 other items that I think are equally as cool as this, but I think if it's one rare item and I could only have one, I'd be keeping this one, so I consider it to be my holy grail. Now, when it comes to my white whale, there are plenty of super rare Lego Star Wars items that I'll probably never get my hands on. For as many as I have, there's an equal amount that I don't have, which is pretty insane to think about. But something like the Han Solo Indiana Jones 2-in-1 Spinorama thing, I don't know if it was a Comic-Con thing or something from like 2007 or whatever, but super rare, super expensive if one ever even comes on the market again. And if it does, they're going to want an exorbitant amount of money. So there are a few things like that I'll probably just never get, and technically would be a white whale if I had the opportunity to get, I would really, really want. But I think there's one item that kind of is above the rest, and there's a couple like this. There's the bronze version of the C-3PO that's 1 of 1, and it is rarer, but it's not the one that I think is the coolest because there's a 1 of 5, so there's more of them, so technically the price should be lower as there's a higher supply. But gold C-3PO, I think 24 karat, like complete gold, not chrome gold plated C-3PO with the little certificate of authenticity and the nice bordering on it. It looks really dope. It'd be a really cool collectible to have. However, this would cost $50,000 to $100,000 to $150,000 in today's market with what, whomever owns one now would want for it. It's just gotten a bit out of hand. I know a lot of people value the recent metallic R2-D2 figures at many, many tens of thousands of dollars. So there are quite a few cool items out there like that. But ultimately, if, one white whale for me is probably that 1 of 5 gold C-3PO. It's also just from a time in Lego Star Wars that I look back on very fondly with that 2007 era stuff. So there's maybe that aspect of it too. But yeah, Hunter says, what sets do you think are going to be on big discount on Black Friday, and how much do you think they'll be on sale for? So kind of a little tip here. Black Friday is kind of happening now. There's a lot of sets that are already on sale that might be at the lowest price they'll be at, and they might even sell out before Black Friday, and they're like retiring sets, so they won't be back in stock. So keep that in mind. You should be shopping right now for some of the best deals that you can find. And one of those deals that I've seen is Target has like Boba Fett's throne room for $56. Like, that is stupidly cheap. I think they had the Dark Trooper set for like $22. And you're just going to find random deals like this pop up, not necessarily on Black Friday, but throughout this whole kind of month or 2-month period leading into Christmas. So I think it's very important to keep that in mind because you very specifically said Black Friday. I just want to make sure you're aware that there are tons of sales happening right now before the specific day. But I really want you to keep that in mind because you're going to miss out on a ton of great sales if you aren't thinking about the fact that just plenty of stores have better sales than Black Friday sales before Black Friday, like Lego.com with the Republic Gunship and the UCS Razor Crest for 30% off plus double VIP points plus promos a couple weeks ago. I highly doubt we're going to get the same deal on Black Friday. So just something to say there. As far as like what sets I expect to be on sale on Black Friday, there's usually nothing crazy. Target usually does 1 or 2 for Star Wars specifically that are like extra good deals. I think last year it was the Mandalorian Forge for about $18 or $19. If they were going to do anything like that this year, maybe the Pirate Snub Fighter or their exclusive Princess Leia Bausch helmet would be on sale for an extra deep, like 30 to 40% discount. But honestly, you know, there's never a ton of super crazy deals specifically on Black Friday. So just keep your eyes out throughout the whole season. And I try to post all the deals that I find on my Instagram story whenever I do. So maybe keep your eyes there too. Next up, we have Darth Tamaris, who says, have you seen the new Hot Toys Grand Admiral Thrawn that they announced? If so, are you going to buy him? And Hot Toys really puts the hot in their toys with this Grand Admiral Thrawn. Probably going to buy this. I love Grand Admiral Thrawn, you might know that, and I just gonna need one, so I'll probably buy it, and I'll probably do a slight reboot of MandR Collects whenever it arrives in like a year and a half from now, because their pre-orders are forever out. I think it was 2 years ago I actually bought the Hot Toys Dark Trooper like the day it went up for pre-order, and I was super excited for that. And then after that year went by after pre-ordering and it finally showed up, I wasn't as excited about it anymore. But I know I like Thrawn. You know, I don't dislike Dark Troopers, but I just wasn't as hyped about Dark Troopers a year and a half later. So I think Thrawn's a safe pre-order for me. Next question from MJ Dev says, where is Corey's Lego channel uploads? Are they safe? Are they all right? It would appear my cousin Corey has quit Lego YouTube. Didn't even tell me. Didn't text me. Didn't call me. Didn't write me a letter. He just up and quit making Lego YouTube videos and deleted them all off his channel. He is my cousin, by the way. A lot of people ask me what my relationship with him is. You know, a lot of people are like, is he your son or is he your brother? And I'm like, nah, he's my cousin. So yeah, but I guess, you know, after all these years, he finally called it quits. He is in high school, and so I imagine that would have something to do with it without getting too into it. I texted him, we reached out, and didn't get a reply as of very, very early on Monday morning. So maybe I'll get a reply later and I'll sneak it into next week's episode. But yeah, he up and quit, I guess, which is sad, you know? And he had a pretty sizable channel. He could have been making money. I'll never understand that. So yeah, it appears he just quit. But yeah, maybe we'll talk more about that next week. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, because I literally didn't know. Next question from Fritz says, with Lego pricing out a lot of people, do you think the reason for so many gift with purchases recently is to entice more people to spend more money to make up for lost customers? So Lego has more customers than ever. Lego is making more money than ever. You can look at any graph of their profit over the years. They're doing more than just fine. And I don't agree with the idea that Lego is pricing out a lot of people. Lego still sells products at every price range. Just because they sell expensive products now, more expensive than they used to, they don't only sell those things. If they were, then yes, they would be pricing people out. But they still sell $5 poly bags. They still sell $10 microfighters. They still $13, sorry. They still sell $20 battle packs. Yes, these are more expensive than they used to be, but there are still plenty of options on the relatively cheap end of Lego. So I do disagree with that point. I think we've talked about that maybe a few months ago with the idea that is Lego pricing people out. And I don't think so. And I think it's pretty obvious that they're not. They are making things that, you know, people consider to be overpriced or too expensive, but there's still stuff available at every price point. So unless that changed, I would never necessarily agree with this. Now, when it comes to gift with purchases, I don't know if it's just a feeling or if there factually have been way more GWPs with Lego.com for the fourth quarter of this year. And the craziest part is so many of them are so good. You just have so many great brick-built Lego promos. You have the Galileo promo most recently that includes a great Galileo minifigure and a very nice build, and there's just so many awesome promos that have been coming out. And then there's the MandR promo that we got. You see my point and why I made that whole video the way I did. But, you know, generally the GWPs from Lego have been hitting on all cylinders here, and they exist to entice purchases. So from that perspective, yes, but I don't think it's happening because they think they're pricing people out. So I think that they think they're bringing more people into the hobby by just expanding the amount of things you can buy. Like, that's just the way I look at it. Next question from Andrew says, if you could revive one old Lego theme that isn't IP owned, for example, Atlantis, Power Miners, Alien Conquest, what would it be and why? I really liked Aqua Raiders. That was the 2007 theme. Very, very short-lived. There's some of the sets in there that I really liked, and I would love to be able to get that sort of of stuff again. However, I don't think that's the one I would revive. I think if I really could get anything, Atlantis was very good. Aliens Conquest, I didn't love as much. I liked it. I've got a couple of the sets, but like, you know, I could do without it, honestly. The one that I always have come back to is truly Power Miners. I do think that because of its lime green color scheme, it is a very aesthetically unique Lego theme to have out there. I guess they did the lava volcano Lego city sets a few years ago that I think had quite a bit of lime green, but otherwise, like in the world of Lego, there's not a whole lot of lime green out there the way that they did it with Power Miners, and I think that would be a wonderful theme for Lego to try and bring back. Now, I think that when Lego redoes, you know, original IP themes, they typically don't bring them back the way they were originally done. I think Bionicle is an exception to this rule. It's not impossible for Lego to bring back Power Miners as it were, but Power Miners itself was a successor to Rock Raiders. And so I think if they did another kind of theme like that, it would be a different name theme. It would have a lot of things that are different, even though it would be like a similar idea. I would just see them ending up going in a different direction. But of course, my answer to your question is Power Miners. There's always going to be a deep love for Power Miners, and I think its aesthetic goes a long way for a lot of people, and I would love Lego to bring it back. I don't think it's impossible for them to bring it back. Next question from Bacon says, what do we know for sure about the 2024 Clone Trooper and Battle Droid Battle Pack? I've seen a lot of information floating around, but can't tell what's real and fake. So later this week, I'm going to have a video covering every Lego Star Wars 2024 set rumors, but I'll be really quick here for you on this one. It's supposed to include 3 regular Phase 2 Clone Troopers. Allegedly, they'll have the helmet holes. It'll also have 1 regular Shock Trooper, also including the helmet holes, and then it's supposed to have 3 regular B1 Battle Droids alongside 2 new, or hopefully new, Super Battle Droids. And then for the builds, I think it was a Stap and then a speeder bike for the Clone Troopers, where you can sit a Clone Trooper on both sides of the speeder bike, one facing front, one facing back. So that's just off the top of my head what I remember about the rumor. That's everything, or most things, we know for sure about that set. Hopefully that helps you with all that misinformation floating around on the rumor stuff. So next question from Jesus Reigns says, can you quickly compare the new Ghost and the 2019 Millennium Falcon? Yes, I can. This is the Millennium Falcon that I recolored for my Hoth mock. It's just the one that I have handy here, but you can see the size difference, and I'll open them up and show you the Falcon interior is much more sizable. There's just a lot more wasted space, if you want to call it that, on the Ghost. It just doesn't have interior on some of the corners. The Falcon just really leaves no stone unturned when it comes to interior. It's one of the best sets if you really just care about having an interior on whatever Lego set you own. But those are the two side by side. Hopefully that helps you. Next question from Shammy says, what is your opinion on buying extremely expensive UCS sets by piece? For example, the UCS Darth Maul set you can part out for under $500. Is this something you would consider with your sealed 10018? So here's my dirty little secret. I have both a parted out Darth Maul and a sealed in box Darth Maul. So I actually had purchased one from someone that did part it out for about that $500 price tag, but of course I ended up buying the $3,500 sealed in box one so I could do the review and have the nice thumbnail and all of those things that I want to be able to do on the channel. I think that for pretty much anyone else in the world, you should do the cheaper thing here. You don't need the box. You don't need to open the bags. All of the parts are relatively to the $3,500 cheap to amass, and you can get the instructions for free online, of course. And unless you're just an insane person like me that really has to have the empty box to be able to put in your attic, like, you could just have the build for way less money, and you should probably just do that. And this can apply to many other Lego sets. Not always. There are certain sets that have certain parts that are exclusive to that set or whatever the case may be, and they are particularly expensive, and it might just be better to just go and buy the sealed one. Going to save you a lot of headache and cost you about the same amount of money at the end of the day. But there are certain sets like the Darth Maul. I think the Republic Dropship with ATOT is a good example of this, where you can part it together for a pretty dang good price, and then after that, obviously you can't do that right now, I guess, because Bricklink has been hacked and has been down and will probably be down for, I don't know, a week or so. Who knows how much longer. But you can part it together, and then you can go ahead and buy a replica sticker sheet for like $20 and probably save yourself $500 or $600, maybe more. It just kind of depends on what a sealed one costs and what it ends up costing you to buy all the parts to part it together with Bricklink. So my opinion on it is a really good thing to know how to do, and something that I think many of you should be doing to save yourself some money when it comes to buying some sets on the secondhand market. But it's not something that I will personally partake in for certain sets like the Darth Maul, because I want to have a certain, aspect to my video that you might not be able to get elsewhere. I want to have that historical, like, this is what opening the Darth Maul was like, and now everyone can have that video forever. Next question from Samuel says, who are you most grateful for getting you to where you are now? So one of the ways that I look at life is that there are fork in the road moments, and it's like really black and white to me. Like, life was either going to go there or it was going to go there. And I'm sure many of you guys probably think the same way, or can look back on your life in many ways and see different little things that if one little thing goes slightly different, everything in your life is way different. It's kind of crazy to me when I think about some of my fork in the road moments, where I'd be if one thing had happened versus what actually ended up happening. And perhaps the biggest fork in the road moment of all was my two friends, Zach and Drew, in 6th grade, having their own YouTube channel and starting their own YouTube channel. I think it was called the Joe and Larry Show. And they were just doing like skit videos. And so to me, technically, I guess I would be most grateful to them because of the way that I think of life, in that the biggest fork in the road moment of my life would have to be them having a YouTube channel and me going, oh, that would be really cool if I did a YouTube channel. That would be fun. Like, that seems neat. And going and starting a YouTube channel because they were doing a YouTube channel at the time. This is 2009. Doing a YouTube channel, making a TikTok account and posting stuff wasn't necessarily normal. It wasn't what everyone was doing, but I just happened to have two friends that were, and I guess I'm most grateful to Drew and Zach from 6th grade, like it's just crazy to me. I just think if they weren't there in 6th grade, none of what I'm doing right now would have happened. I don't think I would have started a YouTube. Maybe I would have started a YouTube channel many years later, but to the degree I've been successful and for the time I've done it and different things that I've known and learned and picked up over the years, I just don't think I would be where I am today without just that happy little coincidence. There also wouldn't be a Final First Battle Pack, which would be very sad. But moving on to the next question, I appreciate that. There's plenty of other people I'm very, very grateful for and have helped me immensely get to where I am. But just with my philosophy on life, even though, Zach and Drew didn't do a whole lot for me, really, they didn't help me make the channel, they didn't make any of the videos, whatever, I think I'm here because of them. Next question from Bella says, do you really think you will do this review Lego online for all your life? Is there really nothing you could see that would make you want to do something else? So I love Lego Star Wars. I'm a lifelong collector. I just feel like I'll always want to talk about it, whether, my channel is popular or not, whether I'm super filthy rich, won the lottery or not. I've always thought about that. I was like, man, if I won the $1 billion lottery, I'd still make Lego videos because of course I would. What else would I do? Like, that's kind of my thought process on it. I also think of it kind of like a sports fandom. A lot of people, as I've unfortunately grown a little bit pessimistic about Lego and the state of Lego Star Wars, and of course the way I feel that Lego has treated me over the years, have told me, well, why don't you just quit? Why don't you just walk away? You should just sell everything. And I'm like, well, I could sell everything and do all right and just do whatever, I guess. But like, that's not what I want to do. I do enjoy collecting Lego Star Wars, as you might imagine. That's why I do it, because I enjoy it. But, when the Patriots are really, really bad and they're 2-7 and Mac Jones keeps throwing interceptions to lose games, do I stop watching the Patriots? Do I go root for another team? No. Still watch the Patriots. I still love them. I still have Mac Jones' jersey. I'll still wear it. And, I'm still going to root for the Patriots to come out next week and beat whoever they're playing. And I'm going to root for 2024 to have good clone troopers or have, good sets. And hopefully Lego Star Wars will, turn the stone, whatever the metaphor is, And that's how I view it. I guess specifically to like, is there something else I would rather be doing? The answer is no. So, if my Warzone gaming career goes well, I would love to be doing some of that, but I wouldn't just entirely walk away from Lego because I had something else do well. So I think that's the takeaway here. Yeah, I hope I do this the rest of my life. I enjoy it. So like I'm living the dream, bro. I do kind of forget that from time to time, but like it's amazing like what we have here, and just the internet in general. We can get way too deep. I probably shouldn't go that deep, but the last question from Elbrix does kind of go that deep because he is an OG fan. He says this might be a deep cut, but will that one-off arcade channel you once shared ever come back? So I think this was back in 2016. It had to be, late 2016. It was like first year college, because me and my buddy Kyle and Jared, and we were like, man, we should start a YouTube channel together. And this is 2016. This is before I was making any amount of money that I thought would ever be livable off of my Lego YouTube channel. It was just not something that I thought would happen at that point in time. It was before I had that like $69 day where I had that like slight like, maybe this is it. So the three of us at the time had gotten on a bit of a binge watching these like arcade YouTube channels. I haven't even gone back on that binge in like 7 years now. But at the time, we would just watch people play arcade games, and these videos were getting hundreds of thousands of views. And we were like, man, we could make a ton of money doing this if we make a cool arcade channel. So the three of us started a YouTube channel. It was called Arcade Dudes. We maybe uploaded 2 or 3 YouTube videos, and then YouTube deleted the channel under the guise that the channel was a scam and or deceptive practice. Literally, we uploaded ourselves playing arcade games at the bowling alley and at Andretti in West Melbourne or Palm Bay. Like, I don't know how that happened. It still baffles my mind to this day. We hadn't put in the time and energy. We weren't making money from the channel yet. So like, when it got deleted, we were just like, yeah, whatever, back to college, I guess. That is a good memory. We joke about it every once in a while ourselves. But yeah, that one literally just got wiped off the face of the earth by YouTube. I also just have no interest in doing it. 1, I guess it's just fun to play arcade games, but 2, we really thought we would make a ton of money doing it based on what we saw with other YouTube channels at the time. But as you can see, a prime example, following your passion might just work out instead. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed, hit the like button. If you have a question for next week's episode or topic, DM in the comment down in the comment section below, and we'll see you next week. I don't know, this is my girlfriend. Now you can put that question to rest.